This would have some major implications on the NFL playoffs. We're talking about a possible rule change in the NFL. We're also discussing a division rival and the contract that he was just recently paid and how some fans are feeling about it. All on today's episode of the Rams Digest. I'm your host, Joshua Giron. Remember, if you guys are not subscribed to the channel, do me a favor. Press that subscribe button now, as roughly 73% of you guys are watching videos, but you're still not subscribed to the channel. You're already watching, might as well press that subscribe button so you don't miss any daily Rams content here at the Rams Digest. First things first, I want to get into this first story here. We're discussing a rule change or rule changes in the NFL that they're going to be voted on in the coming days, the coming weeks, and I want to kind of discuss how Sean McVay, Rams head coach, we've talked about this on the channel before, is not a fan of these changes, but the official voting will be happening very, very soon. So NFL owners to vote on proposal Rams Sean McVay dislikes. The Los Angeles Rams could be forced to play road playoff games despite winning the NFC West. Now, this obviously doesn't specifically just target the Rams. It's not the Rams that are going to be the only ones being affected by this. This is the entire NFL. The NFL owners are voting on something that Sean McVay has come out and kind of disagreed with. We'll talk about what he said in a second back when they were talking about these rule changes at the league meetings. But it's very intriguing, right? Any rule change in the NFL, I think, is very, very intriguing. And we have to kind of be careful about the way we understand these rule changes. And so here's SI Sports Illustrated's Albert Breer discussing it. He says in Minneapolis next week, NFL owners will have a chance to make the biggest change to postseason seeding in decades, with the Lions' proposal to reconfigure the system listed as bylaw proposal number 4 on the docket to be voted on. So we can kind of look at that specifically. You guys want to get into specifics on which particular proposal you are looking at what they voted on, but we'll get the articles that'll come out and explaining to us what was voted on, what was approved, what was rejected, and this is an intriguing one that I can actually see the NFL going with. I can actually see the NFL moving in this direction, and we'll kind of explain it more. Here's more of Albert Breer's quote. He says, Detroit's proposal would be for the 4 division champions and 3 wild cards in each conference to make the playoffs. Those 7 teams would be then seeded strictly by record rather than assigning the top seeds to the division winners, which is how it's been done since the merger, with the wild cards to follow. If teams have the same record, being a division champion would be the first tiebreaker regardless of the head-to-head record. So this is kind of how it's being broken down by Albert Breer. The way I'm understanding this is basically if the Rams win the NFC West, that's great for them. They make the playoffs. That's obviously going to be a thing. There's still going to be 3 wild card teams, but when it comes down to seeding, the Rams don't just get the 4th seed, the 3rd seed, the 2nd seed, or the 1st seed. That's not locked into place. Obviously, the 1st seed would be locked in if you're the best record, right? But that's not locked into place until we see what everyone's record is. Then maybe a wild card winner could be a very good team that's the 3rd seed or even the 2nd seed possibly, right? Depending on how good that division was that year, right? And this kind of is basically why the NFL is doing this, is because if there's a team, for example, that barely sneaks into the playoffs because their division is really bad, right? Everyone has a losing record and they just happen to be borderline 500, a 9-7 team, or even maybe a 7-9 team, right? Or is that right with the math on how many games? So, 9-8 team, right? Or 8-9 team. So if that were the case and a team makes the playoffs in that scenario, well, then the wild card, who is better than that team, would definitely benefit and they would get the higher seed. I don't know if I'm making sense there, if I made that sound more complicated than it really is, but essentially this is affecting playoff seeding. Now, Sean McVay had a very interesting perspective on this change if it were to happen and why he disagrees with it. So Sean McVay came out just a couple weeks ago back at the league meetings. He says, I'd be all for it if we played all 15 NFC teams and then 2 cross-conference games. But when you're playing 6 divisional games, then you got the strength of schedule based on whatever the previous year's record was and finish. It's not all the same. And so I do think there is something to be said for winning your division. That means something, right? And that is kind of very valid. You're playing your division 6 times. If your division is very, very bad, a very poor division, you're going to be automatically 6 wins, right? You're 6-0. That's fine. But then when it comes down to like reseeding, playing the rest of the NFL, it just makes things kind of very complex, because if you are not playing every single team in your conference, then it's not really fair to go off of your record. like Sean McVay said, there's 17 games. So let's play 15 NFC games. AFC, you play 15 AFC games. We play every single team in the AFC or every single team in the NFC, whichever conference you're in. And then you play the 2 cross-conference games to make the NFL some money, obviously with some big matchups, cross-conference. And then you can go off of seeding. It's why the NBA has it the way they have it, right? Whether it's 8 teams in one, 8 teams in the other, based off of best record? Well, because in the NBA, they play every single team. In the NFL, they do not play every single team. And so that's kind of where it is complex. I can see Sean McVay's perspective. I agree with Sean McVay's perspective. If you make the next change being the schedule to what Sean McVay is saying, you play every single team in your conference, well, then there's reason to have this ranking the way it is. But if you don't, it's not really fair to have your team be ranked higher because your record was better, but your strength of schedule was weaker, right? And so that's kind of where Sean McVay's perspective is. You guys let me know how you guys feel about this. I know I said a lot about these rule changes, and it's kind of a lot to kind of break down. But if you guys are confused by it, no worries. You can do some research. I can break it down for you guys in the comments if you like. But if not, just let me know how you guys feel about this potential rule change. If they agree with it, how do you feel this could really affect the NFL playoffs in these upcoming years? Moving on from that, windows, they open and windows, they close. And we are potentially talking about a big division rival of the Rams window being closed, maybe shut forever, or as long as they have this quarterback on roster. Yes, we are talking about the big news about Brock Purdy. Here, Sports Center saying this, and I do want to acknowledge this tweet because I think it is pretty cool. As a football fan, not a 49ers fan, I'm a very big 49ers hater, always have been in my life, but as a football fan, a fan of the game, let's acknowledge a little bit, give some props to what Brock Purdy has done in his career, okay? Sports Center laid it out pretty great here. Named the 49ers starting quarterback, led the Niners to back-to-back conference championship appearances and a trip to the Super Bowl, Pro Bowl selection, and signed, obviously now a 5-year, $265 million contract. It's all not a bad career so far for Mr. Irrelevant, the last pick in the draft. As a football fan, man, what a story from Brock Purdy. I mean, to be the last pick in the draft, a quarterback who potentially is not even going to make the roster, to then becoming the starter, to then leading the Niners to back-to-back conference championship appearances, also a Super Bowl appearance. I'm not saying I like Brock Purdy. I am not saying I like the 49ers or I like his success. I'm just simply saying, wow, you got to tip your cap to some great play in the NFL, and that is some great play in the NFL from Mr. Irrelevant to signing a 5-year, $265 million contract. But when we take a look at the highest paid quarterbacks in the NFL, Dak Prescott, $60 million. Joe Burrow, $55. Josh Allen, $55. Jordan Love, $55. Trevor Lawrence, $55. Tua, $53.1. And Brock Purdy, $53. Right next to Jared Goff at $53 million. Obviously, that's the annual per year basis salary. Intriguing stuff. Did the window close? We talk about Puka Nacua saying if they sign him for over $50 million, the window is closing. Is this good news for Rams fans? I know some Niners fans are going to joke and say that they're happy with it. Not joke, but they're going to be happy about the situation, saying they love Brock Purdy. He's great. But I've been arguing this about Brock Purdy. They've had a perfect roster, and nearly perfect roster. Great linebackers, great cornerbacks, great D-line, great offensive line, one of the best running backs, top 5 receivers, at least duos, right? Top 5 tight end, no debate. And yet they still have not been able to win a championship. Now, this is going to be harder to pay players around Brock Purdy. I think you're closing your window if you're San Francisco by signing Brock Purdy. How do you guys feel about it? Well, we'll see what some fans are saying on social media. 53 million United States dollars per year for Brock Purdy. There's kind of laughing emojis and a funny little glob guy. I forgot what his character's name is from I think I forget the movie. You guys know what movie we're talking about here. So that's a pretty funny tweet there. We'll keep moving here with some other tweets. How Brock Purdy earned $180 million guaranteed. If you guys notice, the one big guy in the back, he's not touching anything while these guys are lifting a heavy door into the trash can. Brock Purdy not really helping that much in this scenario. Not sure I agree with this, but just kind of funny to poke fun. 49ers and Brock Purdy have agreed to a 5-year, $265 million deal. You see here a Simpsons character throwing money on fire, basically saying the Niners are burning money by paying Brock Purdy. We have another same meme here from the blob. This is actually coming from a Bengals fan, it looks like. We live in a world where Brock Purdy is making more money than Lamar Jackson. Kind of just stunned face there. And that's kind of it for the memes that I pulled. Yeah, man, kind of very intriguing, right? Very intriguing to see the reactions. I'm curious how you Rams fans feel about Brock Purdy signing this contract in San Francisco. Are you happy about it? Are you a little bit like, well, he deserves it? What do you guys feel about Brock Purdy signing the contract that he just signed in San Francisco? I do think it has real implications on the Rams, right? If you don't think Brock Purdy is that good, you're not really afraid of Brock Purdy as a quarterback, you may be happy about this deal. If you're worried about him or you think he's a good competition for the Rams, then maybe you don't like that he's staying in there for another 5 years. But I think this may be a little bit of an overpay situation. I want to credit and tip my cap to Brock Purdy and everything that he's done. I'm just not sure if they can win in San Francisco, which is good news for the Rams for paying Brock Purdy 5 years, $265 million. Congrats to Brock Purdy, though, and his family. I'm sure it's life-changing, incredible money for Mr. Irrelevant, the last pick in the draft. Moving on from that, last but not least, trivia of the day. My favorite part of the episode, where I ask a trivia question and you guys give your trivia guesses down below in the comment section. Whether you're right or whether you're wrong, we'll give you a shout out on the next episode. This trivia of the day was this question posed here. Which player stopped Tennessee Titans receiver Kevin Dyson on the 1-yard line to win Super Bowl 34? Many people played along and guessed. We did have some multiple choice options, which were here. Was it A, Billy Jenkins? Was it B, London Fletcher? Was it C, Mike Jones? Or was it D, Kevin Carter? Very few. I'm hoping many of you will understand my reference there with the Mike Jones chant. The correct answer for the trivia of the day was given to us by a couple people here. We had Cassidy Lopez saying hands of stone. Mike Jones. I have this is the Road J. Will saying Mike Jones. I have a signed card of his with that tackle. That's pretty sick. The Road J. Will, got to see a picture of that at some point. David says Mike Jones, greatest tackle in Rams Super Bowl history. Lake Show says Mike who? Mike Jones. Barry. By the way, there's a song by Mike Jones called Mike Jones, and he says Mike Jones that way. Barry says Mike Jones. We had MMZ Jr. saying Mike Jones. Don't act like you don't know the name. Mike Jones here from Floyd, and then Mike Jones, all caps, from Brian B. 100% correct. The correct answer was Mike Jones, who made that tackle. Such a legendary moment. Like I said, in my mind, one of the greatest moments, not just in Rams history, in NFL Super Bowl history. Such a legendary, classic tackle to win the Super Bowl for the Rams for Super Bowl 34. Moving on to today's trivia. First of all, thank you everyone for playing along with Trivia of the Day. 100% correct. I appreciate all of you guys for playing along. If you want to play along with today's Trivia of the Day and get a shout out just like these folks here, go ahead and play along with today's question of the day. This is the question for today's trivia. The Rams franchise was originally founded in which city? Trivia of the day number 64. We got some multiple choice options for you guys. Is this A, Chicago? Was it B, Los Angeles, where we're at right now? Was it C, St. Louis? Or was it D, Cleveland? The Rams franchise, sorry if you hear sirens outside my window. The Rams franchise was originally founded in which city? Was it A, Chicago, B, Los Angeles, C, St. Louis, or D, Cleveland? Give your guesses down below in the comment section. Whether you're right or whether you're wrong, I'll give you a shout out on the next episode. So don't Google it. Play honestly, play fair, and let's see if you guys get this trivia of the day question correct. Other than that, that's going to do it for me on today's episode of the Rams Digest. If you guys are not subscribed to the channel, do me a favor, press that subscribe button. It doesn't cost you a thing, so you don't miss any more daily Rams content. That's going to do it for me. I'm your host, Joshua Giron, and I'm out.